Hello again, and it's time for another project. Today we're going to route out this Shedcrafts with Shane plaque. It's going to be double-sided, so basically what we have on that side, we will have on the other side. Now just cheap fencing wood, just to spend 5 minutes just to sand belt it down. It comes up really nice. As always for me, we've got our template ready. We've stuck that down with painter's tape, put our carbon paper underneath, and I literally just draw around it with a pen, and that will transfer the image nicely, like so. Now it is double-sided, so we've got that side, and I've actually done the one on this side already just to show you. So that's basically what we're going to be achieving on this side. Now, I have done this plaque before previously, a larger one. If I can just move this camera up slowly just to show you, that's a bigger version on the wall up there. So that will be what we're going to achieve hopefully at the end of this one. As always for me, for doing my lines, and today, to be honest, the complete project, I'm just going to use a CNC bit. Now these do come with a small shaft on them, a 3.175mm. That's the same size as a Dremel, and that will fit in a Dremel no problem if you want to use the Dremel router attachment, which will be fine for doing these small projects. For my 1/4" shaft router, I wanted an adapter collet, reducer collet, 6.35mm, and you literally just slot that in there into the silver end, pop the black end into your router. Now you're good to go. Set it to a depth that you want comfortable with. This one's about 2mm on this one, quite small. I tend to have a bit of scrap wood to one side with lots and lots of different settings, and I will just set the router to one that I'm happy with. Every project does vary. There is no set rule to say what depth you need to route at. Now I've done the other side already just to show you basically what we're going to go for. So you can see that before it's done, we will just put black paint in here, literally just paint it straight in with a brush, and then we'll sand over and hopefully make that nice and crispy. And obviously we'll do exactly the same on this side. Now on previous projects, I would normally go around this with the CNC bit, do all the lines, and use end milling bits to clean it out with. However, on this one, because it is fencing wood and it pops out really nice, I just use the CNC bit on that one. You'll see as we go along. So we do the lines and then just use the same bit to remove the clear out in the middle, and it pops off really easy. No need to swap over onto your end milling bits at all on this one. Okay, once that's all finally done, the idea is to put it onto a bracket, just one of your garden brackets like so. These are all items that I've found in my shed, believe it or not. It's a rusty old thing, look. It might have some paint on by the time we get to it. And the idea is, once it's done, that will sit underneath there like so. We'll have a bit of chain. Same again, old stuff that's lying around in the shed. And we'll put 2 strips up there. One on that hook there, and one there. And hopefully, when it's all done, we should get a nice swinging effect with the little plaque. And we'll pop it on the side of the shed with the rest of them. Okay, that's it. So we'll start off now. We'll pop our CNC bit into the router. We'll set it to the same depth as that one. And we'll start routing this one out, doing the lines and the clear out at the same time. Right, we've gone all the way around with our CNC bit. Now I'm just going to leave it in and start clearing this one out. Like I said previously, I would use end milling bits, but the other side come out just as easy with the CNC bits. So we'll stick those in for now and later we just start clearing this one out. Right, you can see from that we've gone all the way around with our CNC bit. It got it out eventually. Personally, I think I'll go back to my end milling bits for the clear out. But smaller areas like this, it was fine. It obviously just takes you a little bit longer because you have such a fine point on the CNC bit. But that doesn't matter. We're going to clear it out now. Just a general tidy up. I personally like to use the flexi cable on the end of a Dremel and these engraving bits. Just cheap eBay specials. You'll get a packet of 30 like that for next to nothing. And I like to get one with a nice flat bottom on it and just enough size so we can fit inside those letters there and go around and give it a general tidy up. Once that's done, hopefully it'll look more like that side. Okay, general tidy up, and then we'll be on to the painting side of things. Right, that's enough sanding down and clearing out for me. We get the basic shape and plaque that we're looking for, and ideally they're not far off the same on both sides. Now personally for me, when I put the paint on, I literally just paint on to bare wood, no problem whatsoever. Some woods will have what they call paint bleed. That's where the paint bleeds into the side walls. You can actually purchase a separate wood sealer and you brush it on, a bit milky in colour. Just brush it into the areas like so. And once it's dry, you can put your paint on top and hopefully that seals the new routed out areas and gives you a nice crispy line when you come to sand it down. Personally, it's something I've never used and I've never felt the need to use. Especially on this fencing wood, you don't get a lot of bleed. Plus, I like to paint my paint, whereas a lot of people like to spray theirs. So, like I say, just bare wood, nothing on this. We're going to pop in our black paint. Painter's touch for me. And it's literally just a case of getting it on a stiffish brush and just filling it in like so. If you prefer to use sprays, you could spray this, no problem whatsoever, and sand over and get exactly the same result. These are all just personal preference things. You will find that you go over this and you think you've got it all, then once it's dry, you might just find little areas, like inside there for instance. And obviously I will repaint this black, but if you haven't got it, black marker pen, you can just dab on there and it just colour it in nicely. So obviously I'm going to do this on both sides. I'll quickly go over this and come back once I've sanded it down, and we'll get onto the boiled linseed and then the clear to finish it. Right, you can see from that we've done both sides. I'm happy enough with that, that's no problem. If I can get close enough, just see there's no bleeding into that wood. So they're crispy enough for what you're going to get for it being just cheap fencing wood. So I'm happy enough with that, that's no problem. So now linseed oil for me, boiled linseed oil, just to darken that wood down again. Get the sides, you can go over the top, it doesn't matter if it goes on the paint, it'll all dry off eventually. And then we'll leave it a day or two just to dry nicely once we've wiped it down. And then we can spray a bit of finish on. So that just darkens it down nicely. You can see from that, just get it on like so. You'll see it better more on the sides, just down there. And you can see how that's darkened that down nicely. And then once we put our clear finish on to finish it off, we can hang it on the bracket again and we'll put it somewhere on the shed. Okay, we get the general idea from that. Obviously, we'll have both sides to do. We'll come back once it's all dried out and it's been clear sprayed, and we'll start putting it on the bracket. Right, that's it. This little project is over. Now I gave it 3 or 4 coats of the crystal clear, plus the linseed before that, remember, and then we had the paint before that, which we sanded down. And hopefully that's just give us a nice little shine, as you can see from that, and a little bit more protection with it going outside. Now it's obviously the same on the other side, exactly the same. These are just fun little projects. I've even thrown in a couple of ladybirds on the end there, like you do. And that's it, this little project is over. Now for hanging purposes, it's not going to win any awards and it's not pretty. But literally, U-shaped nails tacked into there. And like I said previously, a bit of chain that was hanging around. But that's enough to do the job. It's only going on the end of my shed at the end of the day. I certainly wouldn't want to send it out to anybody looking like this. Just fun little project that basically anybody can do. And that's it, there we have it. So it's a shed craft with Shane. This is my Facebook page, by the way. If you want to tap on and have a look, you'll see all my projects on there. So it's a shed craft with Shane, routed out on fencing wood. It measures in roughly 9 inches by 6 inches, we'll call that. Double-sided, using recycled old bracket and bits of chain that you've all got, I'm sure, lying around in your shed. Now you could have used fancy router bits if you wanted to round that off. I can just show you quickly. I've got cases full here, never use half of them. So you could have rounded it off, you could have made it oval shape. Obviously the possibilities are endless. But that's it for me today on this one. So there we have it, one routed out shed craft with Shane. Thank you very much for watching.